I'm officially homeless. I am lucky, don't get me wrong. I have a roof over my head, that caravan behind me. I'm at my sister's house. But I am officially homeless. Thanks to the rental crisis and the cost of living today, it's ridiculous.
So over the course of the night, I've been asked to give a backstory of how I became homeless out here in Broward County, Florida. So a little over a month ago, I was laid off from a family-owned company who was in business for about 14, 15 years. Business got slow and they ended up having to let some people go. I found out very, very quickly right after that, once I tried to hit the ground running, it's tough to find work out here, especially when you're applying for jobs online and trying to get callbacks. Now, fast forward, because since I don't own a car, I was able to pay my own bills, rent, roof over my head, cell phone bill, etc., gym membership. But all that kind of just dried up very quickly. I couldn't afford to pay my rent anymore because there was no money coming in. So therefore, I ended up having to sell all my belongings, pack up all the important things into a duffel bag and a backpack, and now that's how I'm now living on the streets. I live out of a backpack, and I live out of a big duffel bag. Now, in order for me to, stay clean, use the bathroom, charge my phone, stuff like that, I do use a gym membership. That allows me to keep myself properly groomed, and also to shower and be clean on a daily basis. Like just right now, I just left the gym because I just showered and cleaned up and everything. Because early this morning around 4 a.m., I helped a gentleman do some moving some furniture and packing up a big giant tractor trailer. And so I'm able to get a few bucks here and there. But ultimately, the goal is to get off the streets. Hotels cost a lot of money. Sometimes it is tough to get into shelters. But also, there are places I try to stay within a reasonable distance of the gym because I like to keep my duffel bag locked up there during the daytime so I don't have to tote that around all day. And then I grab it at the end of the night, and then I bring it with me to where I'm going to be for that evening. But first off and second off, I just want to say thank you for all the comments and all the support. Really means a lot. It's homelessness doesn't show discrimination, and I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate the support. I'm not giving up.
I'm homeless and I'm carless, but I do have a job, so follow along on this journey as we turn challenges into triumphs and save for another place to stay and another vehicle. Right now we're at the bus stop. It's currently raining and 50 degrees. 7:42, I'm just getting to work. The only bad thing about riding the bus sometimes is that I'm late, but I'm going to go ahead and clock in, bestie, and get to work, and then I'll check back on break. Finally made it on break. I ate a mini tuna sandwich. Now I'm just going to scroll a little bit and enjoy the weather. The day's been good so far, but I did have a moment earlier where I teared up a little bit. It was just like in the moment, like when somebody asks you if you're okay or if everything's good, and you just feel so overwhelmed and the tears just coming. Yeah, that's what happened. I'm doing better now. I'm just going to chill for the rest of my break and then I'll check back. Just got off of work. It's 1:40. I'm currently sitting in the grass waiting for the bus. I think I have about 15 minutes and do feel like my shift went pretty well. Now I just need to go back to the hotel and kind of chill for a little bit. I think I might take a nap. My mind is just racing and I just need it to stop for a little bit. So I probably will take a nap and then I work tonight at 6. Just got to the hotel room. I'm going to take the dogs out and see if we can find something to eat.
Here in America, you can literally work a full-time job and then some and still be homeless. These jobs, the wages that these jobs offer don't pay enough to afford rent. You're lucky if
The times are really getting tough and tough and tough. You go in your house and you open a television. Probably you are watching your favorite channel. You're watching the news. Then the first thing, headlines, is the number of people getting more and more homeless. And you ask yourself, probably you're sitting down. You even don't know if you're going to be paying your rent next month. And you're watching that on the news. And you're telling yourself that, I'm next. I'm next on the line, because you have looked at every option, leave alone just paying the rent. You don't even know where the next meal will come from. You're sitting in your home at night. You're so disillusioned. Your wife just divorced you. Things are not getting well. Things are not getting better because of the economics. And we are seeing how this economy has ruined, American economy has ruined the lives of people. People are not living a normal life. And it's great. It's getting crazier. It's getting crazier and crazier every day and night, brothers and sisters. America, something that was so much revered, something that was so much feared, something that was so much praised. America today is becoming a laughingstock because the citizens of America are coming out and talking about life is just so hard. Life is just so hard. The person that you are seeing is doing better, or the person that you think is doing better, is not doing better. Life is crushing everyone. And it's becoming so much difficult. It reaches a point where owning a car is even much luxury because the prices of fuel have skyrocketed and it's just going crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. And Americans are asking one thing. At what point do we say enough is enough? At what point will the Trump administration solve all the problems that are going on right now? People are just asking this question because every day, every time life gets tougher, the disillusionment in the faces of Americans, I think you can definitely see that. Everyone is not happy. Some people are planning to relocate, but Trump does one thing. Trump won't allow Americans to leave the United States because of fear. They know very well that people will be leaving the United States, and so they are making it so much hard for people to travel, only the rich people to travel. Looking at the rate of homelessness in the United States, making me question something as a social science student, as a student that I've studied sociology, psychology, and Black American studies. I think that America is going through a point of no return. So brothers and sisters, kindly let's watch these videos. I'll be back and then we'll have a discussion in regards to this. So stay tuned.
You can't even afford to rent from somebody anymore. It's like if you want to have a car to drive to and from work, you also got to think about like the gas prices going up. In a lot of areas here in America, gas has reached over $4 a gallon. And then you got to think about like food expenses, toiletry expenses, and then the money to, for rent. Or say you rent a room from somebody, even that's not really even cheap anymore. But just go get a better job, they say. Budget your money better, they say. Just pull yourself up by the bootstraps, they say. You cannot work your way out of corporate greed. You can't budget your way out of corporate greed. There's literally individuals out here making the most money that they've ever made in their life, and they're still struggling like hell to make ends meet. And I'm sick and tired of this stigma that people who don't want to participate in capitalism anymore just have a victim mentality, one that's necessarily not true. We're sick and tired of these low wages and the ungodly high cost of living. And honestly, it feels like it's the sanest response to quit participating in something that no longer serves you.
So I'm one of the many Americans struggling with homelessness. I live in a vehicle that was made in 1996. I live on the side of the road and I live in parking lots from time to time. When I can, I stay at campgrounds. But this was obviously not my first choice of living. At the time I became homeless, I was 22. My grandma had just passed away. I had applied to 6 different apartments and I got denied at every place because I didn't have renter's history or credit yet. Because like I said, at the time I was 22, I never rented before and I never built credit. So after being denied multiple times, I did have to stay in motels and my money was going fast on nights at motels. Plus the motels weren't super clean or safe and I have 2 cats. Well, I have 3 cats, but at the time when I first became homeless, I did have 2 cats. Now the answer that you want, I have. You're wondering why they are doing this and you're wondering why we are not fighting back. Slavery never stopped, it just evolved. The government requires you to be a slave to them in order to rent an apartment. You could have money. You could have, for example, $10,000 cash, but you still will not be able to get a place to live unless you have proof that you have been a slave to the system, pay stubs, bank statements, proof that you work a certain amount of hours. If you are not making money for the government, then they don't want you. They don't want to help you, and they see you as a burden. The system is set up for rich families. If I had a co-signer, I would be able to get a place to live, but I had no family or friends to co-sign for me, so I've just been navigating this kind of by myself, and I spent my life savings on this vehicle so that I didn't have to sleep in my car or outside in the park. But the government doesn't believe you guys will fight back, and they're trying to make you so tired that you won't fight back, or you will become so rageful and you won't think straight, so you'll get yourself in legal trouble, and then once you get locked away, you can legally be used as a slave. It says it in our amendments. When you get arrested, you can be used as a slave, like legally. It says it in our amendments in very little font. So at the end of the day, it's all about the elites using the middle class and the poor as their workhorses. I always try to tell people you will never get rich working a 9-to-5 job because the rich never got rich that way. The rich are telling you guys, go work a 9-to-5 job and you will be like us. But they really got their money from generational wealth, slavery, funding wars. The reason inflation happened and you guys need to be making more money for your rent and for your gas is because they're giving money to the wars, because the rich elites of our country make money by funding wars, by trading missiles and trading weapons and stuff. So that's why they need you guys to work extra hard for them right now, because you guys are helping funding the war. Meanwhile, many of you are getting angry, rageful, getting yourself in legal trouble because you're tired, you're exhausted. You're needing to depend more on healthcare because you're sick now and you're getting overworked. No humans should be working this much. Never in history have we before. The funniest thing is, right now, I'm homeless living on the side of the road, but I'm making more money than my grandma was, or my grandparents, my mother, like back in the day. Their rent was like $300, but they're going to tell us that they worked just as hard as us and that we're the bums and we're lazy because they're not going to own up to the mess that they made. And they don't care anyways because they're not going to be on Earth for much longer. So we're going to be the ones to deal with it, and then our children. But you guys just have to realize it's about slavery, it's about power and control, it's about feeding the elites, feeding the rich. They don't care what happens to you. They see you as ants. If you pass away, they will replace you with a new employee. They really don't care. You're just money. You make money for them, and they even say money doesn't exist. It's just meant to control you because they know money doesn't exist. They trade numbers. They do not trade money. Money is paper. It's a made-up thing to control the middle class and the poor so that you guys stay in your lane. So you can keep getting angry like this, but that's not going to do anything. You have to become brave. Stop depending on the government. They control you with fear because they think that you need them. They took away our human instincts, so you don't think you can hunt for food or make your own house, but you think you can make money to pay somebody to do it for you. And that's where they have you, because you don't know how to be self-sustainable anymore and you need to rely and depend on them. When at the end of the day, we have trees we can go cut down and build our houses. We know how to build a fire. I grew up in a town where hunting is a thing every season. We hunt for deer and turkeys. But they have you fooled thinking that giving away $2,000 every 30 days is winning. When at the end of the day, not paying rent is winning, dude. I don't pay rent. Literally, I've never paid rent in my entire life. I tried, but they didn't want me to because I didn't qualify. So now I've been learning how to live in different ways without the government, and they hate me for that. But in these next couple of years, you're going to see van life, RVs, trailers all over the place because some people want to be free for the little time that we have on Earth. We don't want to be working our young lives away for corporations that don't care about us. At the end of the day, people need to stop paying rent and fueling the rich and the elites, but that's not going to happen. So, get it how you live it while you're on Earth. Try to enjoy your time while you're here and just try to wake up to the fact that money and material items really aren't all that.
According to the Department of Housing, homelessness is officially worse than during the global financial crisis, with baby boomers becoming homeless at the fastest rate since the Great Depression. And while individuals sleeping in vehicles have more than doubled since 2019, billionaire net worth rose by 81%, controlling more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. Raising the question, when did forced homelessness become the nation's business model? Despite the United States facing the most expensive housing market in history, with cities like San Francisco charging $700 a month for a 4-foot-tall sleeping pod, the top 0.1% still controls enough wealth to purchase every home across the nation's 25 largest metro areas without going into debt, proving that what is framed as a housing shortage is actually a market that has been deliberately reshaped to extract as much value as possible from a basic human necessity, reinforcing the idea that you will own nothing and be forced to be happy about it. While the lead up to the 2008 financial crisis saw home prices more than double, median monthly rent only gradually increased alongside both inflation and income growth, allowing renters to spend around 25 to 30% of their income on housing and maintain a difficult but still achievable path towards home ownership, or at the very least, a stable way to keep a roof over one's head. However, as a result of tens of thousands of small and regional builders becoming bankrupt or absorbed during the recession, and institutional investors coming to dominate as much as 57 to 75% of single-family rentals in certain neighborhoods, both the construction and ownership sides of the housing market are now increasingly controlled by a small number of firms. Today, the top 10 builders capture nearly 45% of all new single-family home closings, the highest share ever recorded, with just two companies, D.R. Horton and Lenner, controlling well over 20% on their own. And while this level of concentration is already enough to influence pricing, supply, and development decisions, both of these companies have the same two primary shareholders, BlackRock and Vanguard. When including State Street, these three firms control over 25% of all voting shares in corporate America, giving them the ability to influence the price, quantity, and quality of the nation's housing supply, while concentrating both control and financial upside in the hands of the wealthiest individuals who own these assets. And while you may be thinking, shouldn't this benefit us all as BlackRock is funded by pension plans and 401ks? Well, the reality is that the bottom half of Americans barely control 1% of all corporate equities and mutual fund shares, while the top 1% controls over half, and the top 0.01% alone controls over 10%, proving that when a select few shareholders essentially own the housing market, building affordable housing at scale is fundamentally not in the shareholders' best interest, making mass homelessness an accepted cost of doing business. According to research by Luis Quintero at Johns Hopkins, this level of concentration has allowed these firms to artificially reduce annual housing supply by roughly 150,000 units per year, or nearly 2.6 million homes since recession, while increasing price volatility by more than 50%, making luxury and higher margin projects the most profitable option for shareholder returns. According to Redfin, the luxury housing market has grown 3 times faster than the mainstream market, with only 6,700 lower cost rental units under construction compared to nearly 500,000 higher end apartments. At the same time, private equity-owned built-to-rent communities have risen 134% since 2019, representing the fastest-growing segment in residential development and accounting for roughly 8 to 15% of all single-family housing starts in the United States. And as this shift away from affordable housing continues, nearly half of all renters are now considered cost-burdened, with rent surpassing well over 30% of their income, while over 26% spend more than half, proving that what gets built is no longer determined by what people need to live, but by what generates the highest return, leaving a tiny share of the population to profit from a system that creates growing desperation among people with nowhere else to go.
I'm officially homeless as of next week with my 3 daughters, my 2 dogs, and my 2 cars that I broke down. Yay! Let me explain. One of my cars won't start. In my other car, I got into a car accident over the weekend. I actually wrecked into somebody and my whole front end's ripped off. Brakes are grinding down the rotors, hanging on for dear life. I have been struggling to find a work for the last 1.5 years. It's why I vanished on TikTok, because I couldn't keep up financially. I just couldn't even afford anything at the point. Like, my world just started crumbling and declining as time went on, and I just keep wasting my time with these companies saying they're hiring, and I put my application in 30-50 times going for interviews, and they see my hair color and automatically don't want me to work. I was in customer service for 10 years. I know how to talk to people. I know how to de-escalate situations. I don't understand why I keep getting denied customer service positions. I'll also lose my assistance with food because I will be homeless, on top of getting a security deposit, which is usually $1,000. And most places are asking last month's rent too, which is probably about $1,300. I have to get both of my dogs registered as emotional support animals so I don't end up losing my dogs that I love to death. I also have to get my cat registered as an emotional support animal because I'm not losing her either. Y'all, please tell me I am not, like, I started going to church and I found God, and like I started being more spiritual. I feel like my life just completely went to crap. Like, just went completely downhill after I started going to church. And I don't understand if it's because I'm getting closer to God or if like I'm just having shitball luck. Like, I'm at a breaking point. Life has humbled me in ways like I've already lost so much in my life. If you know, you know.
Day one of being homeless, man. That's all I got to my name. Just a little bit of bag. No car. I'm at a gas station. A random ass gas station. He's alright though. You know, I got faith I'll be alright. At least I'm on unemployment right now. You know, at least I get a little couple dollars a week. You know, looking forward to that. Maybe I could find a cheap place or something for the night. Or maybe not tonight, but maybe another night. You know, just a shower and stuff. But yeah, day one of being homeless, man. Let's see how this goes.
Have you guys ever been homeless? Because I hadn't until 2 days ago when I got kicked out of my parents' house. I only have a part-time job and it makes me $600 every 2 weeks. And I am about to graduate college on Friday. So anyway, I just want to show you guys around my car, and hopefully you guys can stick around to see my journey and see me reach my goal of getting my own apartment and being able to live on my own happily. So let me show you guys my car. That is my humble abode today. Her name is Pink Whitney because everything in here is pink. I have these little balls in here, and then all my seats are pink, and then I have my computer here, obviously, because I still got to do homework and apply to jobs and all of that good stuff. I have my pantuflas right there for comfort, you know, and then my cat is at my boyfriend's house, but I have her food right here. I have my sweater, I have a blanket, my pillow. This is gonna be like my shower stuff. I have my comb and then a few clothes for after. I have my white hamper over there for dirty clothes, and then my 2 suitcases with the rest of my clothes. So yeah, this is gonna be so fun. It's been nothing but tears the last 2 days, and I think that it is time for me to do something about my situation. So I have been applying to jobs nonstop. I am about to go into my part-time job in about half an hour, so I'm just sitting in the parking lot, and yeah, that's about it.
Day one. We are now homeless. I'm a single mom of 2 girls, post-divorce at 45, and we've been renting a house after relocating to the suburbs of Chicago. After 3.5 years, the owners decided to sell, and I have been looking for a new place to live for the last couple of months. I recently did a post on Facebook about how quick your life can unravel, and like my mom asked me, how did you let this happen? It's really not very hard. I divorced a narcissist, which is probably the most difficult process you can go through. It took 3 years, over $150,000, and I don't want to say I lost everything, because I got my kid, and that was the only thing that mattered. But I didn't get assets. I didn't get any financial stability. Actually, quite the opposite. I got all of our joint debt. I got very little child support. I ate it all just to be done and just to be free. And that's fine with me. I can rebuild and I can come back from this. So that's how we got here. Everybody knows the prices of everything are skyrocketing. I have been, I don't want to say struggling, but it's been hard to rebuild, my business. I started a new business. I'm sure that will be blamed for, where I am now, but it was all the right thing to do. I've found my voice. I found my passion. I now share openly, which is causing a lot of issues with my family. So I didn't get an offer to stay with anyone in my family, and that's very discouraging. I'm staying with a friend who has graciously opened up his home to, a struggling single mom of 2 girls. Big heart, thank you so much. It was funny yesterday when I was frantically cleaning the house and getting all the last loads taken care of. I found this piece of paper that I used to keep by my bedside, and I kept it in my pocket all day yesterday. And it said, one day you will share your story. It will be someone else's roadmap. And, I first started talking about my personal story in conjunction with Lingerie Briefs and in their online magazine, and it was published last October. That was difficult. That's when, a lot of rifts started happening. Those are family secrets. You're not supposed to let them out, and I did. I would say that started a lot of this. So, sorry, this is hard. It was really interesting yesterday, too, because I get a lot of support from friends and people that are watching my journey. But I didn't get so much reach outs I guess I didn't get the type of reach outs that I was expecting yesterday. Support. I hear you got this all the time, right? I got calls for help from other people that were either experiencing the same issues, they were in the same position, or I got asked to help other domestic violence victims. So I know I need to keep going. I need to keep doing this. I'm on the right path, and this is an interesting journey. And I don't know where it's going to lead, and I know that should be terrifying, but we're just trying to stay positive. And this is a new chapter, new adventures. We'll get through this. We do have applications in, and we're waiting to hear if we have a new place to live. So now it's just a waiting game. This is a tough transition, but I'm sure it's necessary. So I'm gonna try to do better about posting. I've been shy and nervous about sharing publicly, but I think yesterday just proved that it can be inspirational at the same time. So I will do my best.
I just woke up and just picked up a closing shift today, so spend the morning with me before I go to work. As a homeless 28-year-old in Montana living at a campsite with my friend and our dogs. He is so ready to get out of this car. Gotta hook you up, buddy. Don't go too far. All cleaned up in there. Nice. Just took a dab, so let's go. Oh, Fifi! Oh. Off to the bathhouse.
Yup.
Now we are at work until like 8, so wish me a good day. More like wish me a better day, because today has already not been it. So if you know, you know. It's gonna be better from here though, only up from here.
My name's Brooke, and this is how I became homeless. I can't believe this many people responded to this video, so I'm going to try and just do it in one straight shot and make it as clear and concise as I possibly can. So my name is Brooke. I'm 31 years old. I am a homeless disabled veteran, and I joined the Navy when I was 17 years old to escape an abusive, toxic household. A little bit of backstory there. My mom and I do not have a good relationship. I no longer speak to her anymore. And the woman that my dad was married to when I was younger tried to kill me. Multiple times. So like I said, I joined the Navy to try and make a go of my adult life myself. So I joined the Navy. 3 months after I joined the Navy, I get raped by a Marine while 3 of his friends are watching. I pushed through my enlistment as much as I possibly can. I ended up meeting somebody, and I ended up getting married. I get out of the military. He gets out of the military. I help him, and my parents help him move back to Tennessee so we could start a new life out there, because that's where he was born. 2 months after that, he breaks up with me with $200 to my name and tells me to leave. So what do? I leave. I move all the way back from Tennessee to California with $200 to my name. At that point, I had only had small jobs. I had worked at a sushi restaurant. I had worked at Walmart or Walgreens and Target. And so now I needed to come back and figure out something with more substantial income. I was living with my mom, unfortunately, and it was really mentally tough. I ended up getting a job with the state of California, but at the exact same time, I was trying to go through my disability process. And when you're going through the disability process and you have an MST, they make you go in very specific detail on why exactly everything is affecting you so harshly. So in 2019, when I was going through that process, I mentally snapped to the point where I almost jumped off the roof of the building that I worked at. I was on Lexapro at the time, so I stopped taking Lexapro. I ended up quitting that job because it was so mentally taxing, and I was scared of what I was going to do to myself. So I ended up quitting that job, and unfortunately that exact same day, my roommate decided that she was no longer going to live in the house that we were living in, and she did not tell me that. So that basically drained my entire savings. After that, I moved in with somebody else, and we were in a relationship for a little bit, and I did not get along with that person. We just politically did not align. So I ended up breaking up with them, and I had a job at a dispensary at the time. The dispensary that I worked at, I was there for a couple of months until they let me go for reasons that really did not make any sense at all. I would name drop them, but their business got closed down like a few months after, so karma. Anyways, after I got fired from that job, my boyfriend got let go from his. And so we were living off of my disability at the time and his little bit of savings. And then he got offered a job out in Michigan. And in order to take that job in Michigan, we had to leave within a month. And we had to basically leave everything that we've ever had and take whatever little things that we could afford to take with us from California to Michigan to work at this company called Peachy Hash & Co. And my boyfriend was going to be the basically the manager of a plant farm. And about a month after he started there, the dude ended up firing him without cause. And we had just moved to Michigan. We had just drained our savings. We had just gotten rid of everything that we had ever owned, ever had, to do this opportunity because this guy, Aaron, convinced my boyfriend so much so that this job was going to change our lives and we were going to finally be okay. And so we took the chance, move out to Michigan, and no other jobs are hiring to the point of where we are going to have enough money to be able to stay in our home. At that point, we are paying $1,600 a month in rent, $300+ for gas, electric, internet, all these things, and I only make $2,200 a month. And so we very quickly realized that we are not going to be able to afford to stay in an actual house at all anytime soon. And so I sucked up my pride and I asked my dad for a little bit of money to buy an RV that I thought was going to be okay. And unfortunately, that RV sucks. The propane tank doesn't work. The generator doesn't work. There's a lot of issues with it. It's a 1993 Damon Intruder motorhome. So that's what we are currently in until our situation changes. And I used to be ashamed of it. I used to be ashamed of my story, but I'm actually genuinely really proud of myself for going through all of these things and still waking up every day and trying. So if you have a hard life and you continue to get up every day and you continue to try and people are still trying to shit on you, them. Don't care about them. Anyways, that's my story. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great. From wherever you're watching this video from again, I'm your host and presenter Agenda Stories. As you can definitely see, you understand that as time goes by, it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And if you think that you are the only person who's going through that, no. The same very person that you think is not going through that, it could be your neighbor. Maybe you've not just, have an open space for you guys to share, talk, and reason together in regards to all these things that are happening. But you'll definitely realize that something is not right. So, as a person who talks about or comments about things that are happening, the following are what people said in regards to the state of homelessness that is going on and the entire madness in the American economy and everything that is going on right now. It is easier to get $1 each from 1 million impoverished people than it is to get $20 from 1 billionaire. It's crazy. Being homeless with a full-time job is despicable. America truly is the worst. Imagine being homeless with a full-time. It's crazy. A large percentage of people are to pay checks away from to pay checks away from homelessness. We are all vulnerable. Don't ever think this couldn't happen to you. It's crazy. The system was designed for this to happen. And everyone who is inside the system will comply without the system wants them to do. The collapse has begun. The government isn't going to help you no matter who is the potters. It's sad. It's crazy. People are living in cars, tent cities, and using storage units for apartments. Are we making America great again? That's just a question. Is America great again, as what Donald Trump promised you all who voted for Mr. Donald Trump? You see, while it's sad that this is happening to everyone, but we just gotta be like a little bit honest. You as the person who voted for Mr. Donald Trump, what you say in regards to this? How do you feel understanding, or probably you're not going through this, how do you feel making a person go through what you decided to vote for? I'm pretty sure it's no secret by now. Either you're homeless, in prison, or a wage slave in the USA. It really sucks. Somebody said that I'm homeless. I live in my vehicle. It sucks. I honestly think they want us to kill ourselves. Just like Trump said, he doesn't care about Americans' finances. He only cares about himself's elites and Israel. We are all effed up. Well, you heard it from Trump himself yesterday. He doesn't care about your struggles. He doesn't care about your financial issues. He only cares about Iran not having weapons for mass destruction. Somebody said that I make 6 figures, went through a bad divorce, and I'm trying to restart. After taxes, student loans, and child support, I have nothing left over. I'm homeless and couch surfing at this time. It's impossible in this economy to restart with nothing. We are all slaves in the illusion of capitalism. If we were in 1990, I'd have no problem starting over. But now, it's impossible. And what's crazy is how the homelessness are treated. The trauma from being treated like absolute garbage by the people who don't even know them or care to, when most are only emergency away from being in the same shoes. It's crazy what is really happening. And what the world is really seeing happening today. The woman living with a guy friend who opened his home up to them. I hope she always watch her daughters and never leave them alone. He could be a decent man, but you never know. Watch your babies, sons and daughters. Okay? Okay, this is the second last comment that I'm going to be reading. I moved to Southeast Asia. You just show up to my apartment or house for rent and pay 1 month and rent deposit. No application, no credit checks, cheap rent, and if you need If you need out of the lease, you only lose your deposit, which is a couple $100. Then you go to the next place and have zero problems renting again. I'll never come back to the US. I feel like I left the abusive relationship. This was going to ultimately kill me. The last comment that I'm gonna be reading. I literally have to sell my car today to save my home. The gas has clobbered me. Our family's SNAP benefits were interrupted for almost 2 months. Now, because my son turned 18 and it took a while to get the documents they needed for his school attendance, and from home being terminated from SSI survivors benefits from my late husband. Nothing changed monetarily. Yet, unless these documents were provided, the benefits were withheld. The exact amount I'm short on my rent. The only thing of value is my car, and I don't know what else to do. Sell the car, save the house, or move into the car. I'm really sorry about that experience. It's crazy that this is happening. And man, I'm really sorry for people who have been affected by all this craziness that is going on in the United States, brothers and sisters. So please let me know what you all think about this video. As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Agent Stories. But until then, let me see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.